Secretary, roll call, please.
Josh Oakland.
Present.
Roy Ann Lane.
Present.
Shirley Anderson. Andy Bishop.
Present.
Ashton Curtis. Martin McNary.
Present.
Gary O.
Here.
Matthew Peterson.
Here.
You have four.
First order is to approve the agenda. Has everybody had the opportunity to look at today's agenda?
Move to accept the agenda. Second.
Mr. Secretary? All in favor?
Aye.
Has everybody had the opportunity to look at December 13th regular meeting minutes?
Move to accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Old business, we have no old business to address. Brings us to new business. Maps have been advertised as required in public hearing. That brings us to the Mr. George Anderson map. Is there anybody here to speak on that map? Sir, or something?
Two small lots. One left over.
Is there anybody here to speak against this map? Close the public hearing.
I'll move to accept this map.
Second.
Mr. Secretary?
Roy Ann Lane.
Yes.
Andy Bishop. Yes. Ashton Curtis.
Yes.
Martin McNary.
Yes.
Gary O.
Yes.
Matthew Peterson.
Yes.
Josh Oakland.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
That brings us to the David Gotro map. Is there anybody here to represent that map? Is there anybody opposed to this map?
What happened to one side and having something here?
We haven't determined the order, it's hanging out in front. Close public hearing. Something's just going on right
That says one. This, it says.
description, not matched.
No.
1.175. 1.175 on
And it's surveyed out small. It's surveyed out small.
It says 1.75, and here it says 1.
Yeah, and it's surveyed at one.
I mean, it's still got 200 feet. So there's nothing wrong.
I don't think, I think it's an ordinance issue.
What?
I'm assuming it's an ordinance issue. Cut out the other piece.
This is exactly how I'm already in my house.
Exactly.
City council.
Yeah. Don't want, you have nobody, you want to table it?
I move that we table this map until we get a better description of this, parcel we can cut out.
I second.
separate 1 acre from the 50 acres that's there. Just, build a residential home.
On to, David Gotro.
So, yeah.
Give us just a second. Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, okay.
So you just divide now, the 1 acre.
Yeah, yeah.
I move to accept this map.
Is there anybody to speak against this? This is not here. This is not here.
You, it's my second.
Roy Ann Lane. Andy Bishop. Matthew Ferguson. Martin McDermott. Yes. Debbie Yoder. Matthew Peters.
Yes.
Josh Upwood.
Yes.
Correct item number 2.
So we want to go back and look at that, because that map's not up.
That's right. That's this one.
We go back in the minutes. What?
Can I,
I don't know what they're on the table.
well, since I'm the one who moved the table, I have to be the one to take it off.
Yeah. No, you don't have to be, but anybody voted in the positive, and everybody voted in the table, so anybody can take it off.
Okay, we'll make it easy. I move to remove from the table, David Gotro map with 1.175 acres.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you very much.
Sorry, I apologize.
I move to take the David Gotro with the 1.175 acres off the table, put it back on the agenda. Aye. Okay.
I'm still getting that over here.
This is,
Yeah, that's the last one.
Right here.
This is part of this, the map, but this is part of the first step.
And it's map 1175.
That's over the public hearing. You know.
I thought one of the meetings that y'all were gonna strongly encourage either the surveyor or a member of the family that was applying for this to come so it wouldn't be any problems.
Well, and that's, it has not gone in front of the police jury yet.
Okay.
They have passed, that's the change
So
order.
then it has to
Change orders, and they haven't moved, they haven't pushed through to do that yet. But that's kind of what's going on here, we have some maps that aren't labeled very
That's what I
well,
thought.
and it extends meeting time, that's a lot of what goes on with it.
Jeff, you're right. If you had somebody here to speak on it.
Yeah.
Is there anybody here to speak on this David Gotro map? Close the public hearing. I mean, that property has been chopped up and buying parks and things of that.
He's got all, he's got all the lanes go down there. Amanda, Felicia.
Okay, so they're really not showing this.
Oh, Nancy. no.
Amanda Lane's on there.
That's shared.
Amanda's on there, and once it gets down to the sand, there's no marking after that. It follows around, you can see where it follows the edge of the property, so you gotta almost imagine it,
They're basically.
because all the properties are cut off of it.
Somebody will have to show up to represent that. Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. Nobody will.
Is that a reason to, is there any reason to reject it?
Not out there.
Make a motion. Okay.
I second.
Roy Ann Lane,
Yes.
Andy Bishop,
Yes.
Ashley Ferguson,
Yes.
Martin McDermott.
Yes.
Debbie Ellis,
Yes.
Matthew Peters,
Yes.
Josh Overland.
Yes.
It's unanimous. You got a challenge right this month.
Huh? It's gonna take a minute, dude. Alright, so that brings us to our other issue, which is consider to make a recommendation regarding the zoning application on parcel on Highway 963 from A2 to C1.
Is this open to public comment?
Open the public hearing for it, yes. right now.
So you need a motion or a recommendation?
Yep.
And then we can start talking.
Yes.
So, C1 is listed as
Office space only.
where C1 falls. So, don't imagine office space is what the objection is. The objective is where to have event centers and items like that fall to light industrial. I1. So, at the description we have, the movement we have right now, the request of what y'all want to do doesn't fit under C1. It's actually in I. I'll leave you all here, somebody else can break in if y'all want to.
So what you're saying is that the application that they submitted
Not even correct.
is incorrect? Okay.
And event centers are required to be on main corridors, correct?
I don't know that it has to be on the main
So
corridor.
the application isn't.
But the application is like.
The application is not correct.
Yeah, well, I'll make a motion to reject the application, it's not, it's
I'll second.
not going for the
It's
right
open public
thing.
hearing, yes.
Hey, we came up here to request the application. We came here to this here meeting here and asked specific questions on what we need to do and the proper paperwork that we need to do to get this here thing, sent through and brought up for the board. The information that we were given is the actual information that we did. We did exactly what we was told to do by the law. Then we deviate from nothing. We were supposed to get all these letters, we did that.
Fine.
We submitted the application based on what information we got from the board.
So C.
They told you that for an event center, it had to be a C1.
No, sir, they didn't say that.
The other two event centers we have are the Gerald property and the Oaks on the Lake, and they're both, we zone both of those C1
Okay.
commercial, because they are, although they're not retail, they are particularly just for service. I mean, that's what the two previous event centers have been zoned. Was C1. You know that.
And have we not known this here prior to? Ain't no disrespect to nobody, I understand exactly where everyone's coming from. You know, I'm a homeowner as well, and I know, but had we been told this up front, we would need to purchase the property. You know. But we was under the assumption, when we purchased the property, that to be legal, do everything that wasn't done in the past, do it right here. That's why we came here, to do everything according to the law. And we were given instruction, we followed the letter of the law, and now we're here.
And you understand where the difficulties come in for you is that the grandfathering for what was going on there before doesn't follow over past once ownership changes.
That's good, I
And
understand.
that's where this is coming basically to a head.
Mhm.
So,
I'll make it easy for you, I'll buy the property first.
That's what we said.
I'll make a leave for you, I buy all your property, everybody's property.
let's keep this orderly. Let's keep this orderly, everybody. That's why this public hearing is going on.
And I understand
The
that.
zoning didn't-
And I respect everybody's opinion, you know, but like I said, we have to live this way. You know, but we thought what we were doing was right. You know, we never did anything illegal, nobody never been to jail in my family, we are upstanding citizens, we do everything by the book. I'm a deputy sheriff for 8 years, Marine 21 years, minister 30 years, I live by the law. I don't break the
By all
law.
means, you follow the appropriate process.
Right.
That's not, it's, that, there is no discussion is being held because it just doesn't transfer over. It was never commercial to start with.
Correct.
And it doesn't transfer over, so you're asking frankly for a new zoning out there.
Right, but see, but this parish here, in fairness to us, this parish here assumed for many years that that was a commercial property on the Buckers and, Hope. And nobody challenged it for all these years. And now that, you know, new owners comes in, you know, it's a challenge. And, you know, it's unfair to us who just purchased this property for, you know, with the intent to do what's good, you know. And we have no problem in sitting, giving the resident, if you want to turn down at a certain time, we got no problem with, doing that. We're willing to work with the community, you know, to get this here, accomplished. You know, if you say all music off at 7 and all music off at 8, we are willing to do that. We'll do everything that's possible and legally and right to get this thing here accomplished. You know, we can go to the race commission, but all these questions, we got them. And we will do everything legal and by the book.
Josh, what is Jefferson Place?
Is it about like? What is it on? It's in Branson.
It's on commercial.
That's the one further back up.
Oh,
That's
it is
right this way.
We don't have any what's been done in the past, we gotta go by what the law is saying.
I was just telling you that.
So with it being in the different zones that are where it is at law.
We can't hear what you're saying.
What's going on?
We want to hear.
But this is a public meeting.
Ma'am, you have the podium right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. But not everyone's listening.
Speak.
I would like to remind everyone respectfully, this is a public meeting. There's a live feed. People cannot hear. People in this room cannot hear. And all I'm asking is for everyone to please use their microphones, and you have to help people coming to this point.
if they need to use the microphone well, and I think I would appreciate it as well as everyone else.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Okay.
Do you have a discussion about it?
Yes, sir, I do.
Please bring it forward.
Okay, thank you. I'm a little confused. This property was zoned A2, which is agricultural farmland with a resident on it. And I don't know what was happening there before, but it seems to me that it wasn't zoned for whatever they were doing. And they were doing that, I guess, illegally. I don't know if that's the correct term. The problem I have with it is now that I've heard there's going to be a racetrack entertainment, as you guys just discussed, I think, I couldn't hear, that they want to zone it commercial office space, which is way completely different for what the use they want to do. I also feel like there wasn't due diligence done when the property was purchased, because it's obviously A2. So right there, that should have told them, regardless of what happened before, that's not how that property's zoned. And people want to come in here and go into a residential area, and this spot zoning, you're gonna plop a business, something loud right in the middle. And I'm also questioning how this even came to this meeting with this discrepancy between the A2 and the C1. It seems like someone should have gotten with the petitioner, or whatever the term is, for the family that's wanting to rezone this property before it even makes it to a public meeting. Thank you for your time.
I would like to bring up, I'm bringing the ball again. I would like to bring up, Mr. Gerald, I'm sure wholeheartedly you have the greatest intentions with this piece of property. I'm sure wholeheartedly you're willing to work with every single one of your neighbors next to this property. What I'm not sure is 6 months from now, some big corporation comes in, offers you a large paycheck for said piece of property on 38 acres of commercial property. You're gonna sell to them. After that, if they offer you a large amount of money, you're gonna take it. After that, they can do whatever the heck they want because it's already zoned commercial. Once it's zoned commercial, he has the right to do whatever he wants with it. After that, if he's successful, whatever goes on there, he can be courteous of the neighbors, everything else. Down the road, he gets a large offer of money, a big corporation comes in. Next thing you know, we have the Baton Rouge State Fair right here on 963. Because it's 38 acres on commercial. Is that what we really want in our small rural community that we have? I don't think so. And nothing against Mr. Gerald. He's a man out there trying to provide a civic center for this parish. We have a few. He's wanting to create another. But inside of town limits is where these places belong. Not next door to neighbors and agriculture and everything else that we have that we hold dear in this parish. Thank y'all.
Where the other civic centers are located at? Where are the other civic centers located at? If they're not mistaken, it's in the residential neighborhoods, right? No, Jefferson is in the residential neighborhood. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's in a residential neighborhood. Do your homework.
Dan Bankhead, East Feliciana resident. I've seen a lot of it going around. Is it's going to be C1? Is it going to be E1? Or light or I1 light industrial? I know there are other things that have been grandfathered in because they were already C1. As Mr. Lincoln said, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the thing Mr. Bishop said, it's by what's in the rules. It's by what's in this. And if it's saying that it's light industrial, that's even worse than commercial. If they reapply light industrial and even think about consider light industrial, they can put anything they want out there on 30 acres. And just think, I mean, these are your neighbors. These are absolutely all your neighbors. No offense, sir, but again, you may have the best intentions, but one stray bullet goes to somebody's house, that's on y'all. anything happens out there, that is on y'all. Because we're sitting here telling you, we don't want it. And I'm pretty sure y'all work for us. Y'all representing us.
Everybody. I don't get paid at all.
But you are representing us.
Okay, Dan.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done, but
All right. Comments closed. Comments closed. I closed a minute ago. Comments closed.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. I don't want to close.
Mr. President, I'll use my mic if you like. In the view of the application having the phrase "et cetera" on it, which is particularly offensive, you don't know where that's going to go. And of course, with respect to the Gerald family, and I know why you say you're from Killeen, Texas, I know where Fort Hood is. You do not have to be retired to enjoy a cup of coffee on your porch. I enjoy a cup of coffee on my porch, and I'm not retired yet. But one of the reasons for rejecting an application is public input. Pure and simple, public input. And, you know, for that reason, for the public input, also for the open-natured application, which just kind of leaves things open. I'd also like to make this statement that I am also a little bit disturbed at how much stuff was going on out there that may or may not have been legal. Looking at you. So there was a lot of stuff out there that may or may not be legal that was going on at that property. That doesn't mean that it gets to continue to go on, and I do applaud this fine devil dog for trying to do it the right way. But in light of the application, what was written, I move that we recommend to the police jury to reject this application to change the zoning from A to C1. So I've made a motion.
Second,
All right, motion's been made and seconded.
what is the recommended nothing at all? Because, see, the T1 and the industrial is getting kind of blurred on our mind. And so, if we reject this application, then come back and reapply, and we'll get it for one. So we're trying to get a concrete resolution as close as possible, where we don't have to be doing this. And so we have people that are in C1, there was a grandfather in it, that was just given a C1 zoning, then it brings up a conflict and a matter of, because it should be to me. So my vote cannot be as clear as I would like it to be without some in-depth clarity on what we're doing.
I go into that. There's a difference. When things were happening out there and there were parties and trail rides and all that, and you know, we've had trail rides in this parish for decades. Nobody's against that. The difference is that before, when you weren't an LLC, when you were a limited liability corporation, if something bad happens on the property, then they can only go after the LLC. What's amazing to me is the private individuals that basically took all that on themselves because they were using their private property that was not zoned C1. They were just rolling dice, and something bad happened, you know, poor Buck, they could have come after him and cleaned him out.
But they had insurance doing all of those events, sir.
Yeah.
They
They
had
had
proper
insurance?
insurance and.
What,
That
my
must have been a
my
heck of an umbrella
question
for
is,
us.
it's not about the activity that's been taking place on there. If I get caught up with that, as many of you know, I live right next door to the barn. They have a whole lot of stuff going on there, okay? You're talking about livestock and how loud music affects animals. Come on, we have a petting zoo that plays music till 12 o'clock at night. Okay, when they have their events. So let's not get caught, I don't wanna get caught up in what's really taking place there. I wanna get caught up in what's right and wrong as opposed to proper. And that's where I'm not clear on what is right when it comes to the property. Half of the things in this parish that we're considering right now, and if we're comparing it to a label C1, they are still in residential places. They have, Jefferson Place sits behind somewhere. I'm not clear what Charlie Park is located, classified as, but that's right behind his home. The lake, Blueberry Hill, all of those places are located near residential places. And so that is what's bringing me to my question on what's the black and white on it and not the gray.
But we're not looking at those applications, zoning.
We're not, but they cannot be omitted when making that decision. You cannot just say, oh, well, what was fathered in, grandfathered in, then we, okay, change it. We get that, I get that. But moving forward as a board, we're gonna revisit this again when I decide to put a event center on my property, and then my neighbors who complained about Magnolia Zip Line, who's not far from that, is gonna say the same thing, and then we're gonna be back to the drawing board. I live in the crossfire of these zones, just like we do in this parish. So that's why my stand is, what's the black and white, not the gray? It's not clear.
Based on Matthew's recommendation, it's because of the unclear application, the unclear plans, and the fact that there is some gray area between C and I that won't prevent, if it goes through and it's not approved by the police jury, there's nothing that prevents them from coming back with a clearer plan and clarification on exactly where it belongs. And according to the consensus of the board, I would think everybody here now, after reading the ordinance in detail, would say I-1. But I'm not speaking for anybody else other than me. So in theory, this would be a rezone application from A2 to I-1 for specifically, and it's not for 38 lots, 38 acres, it's for 11.3 acres.
Somebody has put on the application, has crossed out on the application.
Well, part of that on the application is the district for R1, 2, 3, and 4. That explanation was all under that, and it doesn't apply to this anyway. So the map shows 11.3 acres. That's the,
Is it, but a C1 can be a salvage yard, can it?
no.
What can-
C1? Oh, no.
I mean, I1.
I-1.
Yeah, it can be a salvage yard. Yeah.
But it can't be within 300 feet of any agricultural or residential as it was passed at the last meeting, which means it's out of the parish anyway, so don't worry about it. 'Cause
Right, but
everything-
it could be.
The only place it could ever be was down there where the tank farm is on the other side of 61. It's the only place you can have a salvage yard. Police jury fixed that, so they passed the ordinance the way they did.
Okay.
That's a dead point.
Can you clarify?
Don't we have a
Can you
motion?
clarify?
We have a motion.
Rezoning a portion, not the whole 73 acres?
That's true.
Right. So what are they gonna do with the, if they wanna use that racetrack, they're gonna have to come back and rezone that?
They gotta get approval to use that racetrack through a whole different
So
organization.
as-
And right now, it's a moot
What
point.
happened to the other
The
one?
racetrack's a moot point.
The racetrack is a mute point, the racetrack falls under agricultural, it's horse training, it is.
Either way, you're doing just a portion of this property, so they still have other things they can move in on the rest of the property and rezone it differently. How many acres we're looking at rezoning?
Around 11.
The 11.3. Lot A and Lot B.
So we have a motion standing. What's the motion, so as a mover?
To recommend denying the rezone to the police jury.
On the grounds of.
Vagueness and confusion on the application.
And, public opposition. That's the thing.
Good. What was the question?
Sam, the question is, can you reject a zoning request based on public opposition to the rezoning?
Yes.
Thank you.
Even though you were misled on the way the application was being filled?
My objection to the application is the word et cetera.
No, I mean, even though the Gerald family was misled on the way that they had to fill the application out. You can reject
Yeah,
it.
the whole,
But that's not their fault, because they were guided in the wrong direction,
Okay, that's a whole other issue.
but it came from his office.
Yeah, that's a different
The
issue.
proper thing to do with that is just to file a suit. Bring it to district court, the district court will rule on it.
Not a problem.
How does this affect Saturday? Now.
This has nothing to do with Saturday. What we're standing here has nothing to do with anything other than zoning. We have a motion on the table. Second.
Motion and a
Second.
second.
Mr. Secretary. So. This is to reject it. So. Recommend rejection. Recommend rejection. So. Not change. So, a yes would be to recommend the rejection, a no would not be rejected. Would be against the motion. Would be against the motion, strictly against the motion.
Okay. Roanne Lane,
Yes.
Andy Fisher,
Yes.
Ashley Ferguson,
Yes.
Mark McDermott.
Yes.
Debbie Elder,
Yes.
Matthew Peterson,
Yes.
Josh Oakley.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
And it's rejected on the basis of the acceptor, is that what you're telling me?
Public comment, vagueness of the application, and the
Wait, say that again, I'm sorry.
vagueness of the application, et cetera, the plan, the public opposition, and then where it should actually land, C1 or I1. But that could be cleared up. Whether, depending on what the police jury does and what you choose, how you choose to go forward, we'll get the lines cleared.
And then you can come back to this. Okay.
You'll be back.
When is the college jury meeting? First one?
August 6th, I think.
Okay.
Office.
I'm sorry.
That's gonna be fine.
February 6th.
All right.
I would like to say something if I could. We're done, sir. Okay, so
That's
they
all
got
right.
part,
I got-
they won't be part of the meeting.
August 6th, August 6th.
All right, do we have anybody from the police jury to speak? Our legal advisor? You have anything, Sam? Thank you. All right, that brings us to public comment.
We still have a lot. We still have a lot of churches in our community, and we have a lot of public event things there, so you need somewhere to have a party. Go to your church. Most of them meet on Sunday mornings.
My name is Bob Rang. I also live on Highway 963. One thing that I want to say is, I know that gentleman right there is a transplant over here. I know you're a transplant. I know he's a transplant. I know you're a transplant. I know y'all are transplants. I know a good many other people in this parish are transplants up here for the sole fact to get out of the city. I left this town, this parish, to go to college. Got a college education way away from here. To go learn about how the other part of the world works and understand and appreciate how nice it is back over here in the woods. When you don't have to bother by anything. And that's why I put the choose to raise my kids out here. And that's why I'm saying in opposition to this. Just want to make that on record and didn't want to make it known.
One last time. First, I want to say thank y'all, each and every one of y'all, for y'all service, to come out here and deal with these headaches all the time. Thank y'all for this. Mr. Gerald, thank you. You are the guy that has a vision. That vision may not be accepted here, may not be liked very much here, but you're a guy that has a vision, and I can respect that. Thank you, sir.
Hi, my name's Celeste Gerald. I grew up here 28 years in the United States Army. The thing that he says, the application, we can't trust it because it says Killeen. I was from Killeen. Guess what? I'm back home. That's why the application says Killeen. Now I'm back home. So it's not that we can't be trusted because it says Killeen. When we initially started out, I was in Killeen. Now I live in Bethel. So I just want to make that clear. So it's not that we can't be trusted. We can be trusted. It's just that I'm back here now to stay. And I graduated from Clinton High School, class of '83.
I just had one more thing before we move to adjourn. It's great to have a crowd here. Democracy is never clean, and it's always hard. We only approved 3 maps tonight. We approve on average, would you say, Mr. President, 9 maps tonight? JR, how many people have we got moving in this parish in the next few years? Over 4,000? 4,500? These growing pains that we're feeling as the land is subdivided up and more people move out here is just going to be something we're going to have to deal with. Both this body and the police chief is going to have to deal with. Thanks to everyone here who was respectful and forceful with their words, and everybody be safe on the drive home.
Second?
We had to see it.